we're going to get started. So this is a really exciting thing for me to see, because Democracy Creative is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And Barbie knows, Hannah knows as well. They were kind of the first two people I mentioned this to a long time ago, and this goes way back before that too. So to actually have this many people here in the biggest blizzard in Burlington, I think in the past, this winter. But in the past year, I guess. Past two, maybe not, but pretty big one. And so thank you, all of you, for being here, skiing here, braving the snow clouds and almost getting run over. So Democracy Creative, the way I explain it, is I call it a design studio for democracy. And the whole idea is that there is a lot of power in art and design and creativity to actually change politics and impact democracy and change the way we think about democracy and think about politics. And I think most of us kind of feel this intuitively. We kind of already know it. Like if you go to any the Capitol or the State House, there's art everywhere on the walls. We kind of know that, like, we want to be surrounded by art while we are talking about political issues. But it's really hard to kind of explain why, or think about why that really matters when it comes to politics. And John F. Kennedy actually said, the connection between art and politics is hard to explain logically, but easy to feel. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you start to really think, what is the impact that art can have? So kind of one of the things this is all about is exploring what it really is that connection is. And so that's just an exciting thing to explore. Just to give you some examples of what that might actually look like. One of the great powers that art has is it helps us to see the perspective of somebody else. So you could maybe imagine thinking about art as a tool to help us understand, to help one community understand how people in another community are struggling or suffering, and help them see what it's really like to be someone who's growing up in a totally different world than you. And then maybe that begins to move us in the direction of actually changing things, changing policies. And then you can think about art and design and creativity as a tool to talk about issues and explain issues to people and help change people. Because what is the difference between telling someone, oh, look at all the data all proves that the planet is burning up, and then actually communicating that idea to someone in a way that makes them, like, opens their eyes and changes their entire perspective on the world and says, oh my God, I have to do something, we have to do something. I think the difference between those two things, art is something that can help us get there and bridge that gap. I don't exactly know how. But I know that there's a lot to explore there. And as far as I know, there's a lot more room to explore this. So that is loosely, broadly, what this is about. And also just thinking creatively about politics itself, which leads into, so you may have seen these two projects we have here. Nate and I have been collaborating a lot. It's been really awesome working with Nate. And we threw these two projects together, and these are sort of a taste of what Democracy Creative is also about. It's thinking about art as a tool, but also thinking about how can we rethink the way we conduct politics and the way we think about change. So we have, maybe you'll talk about past, present, future. And just a quick example, Spread Compassion. A lot of people were over there, you saw maybe what it was about. But for example, Spread Compassion, it's a project where we have people, you guys in this room, and maybe we'll continue it, writing a letter to your neighbors, just expressing your support and your compassion and your love for them. And we sent it out to a random neighbor in Nate's district. And the idea is maybe that can begin to at least chip away, at least start to build a snowball of that kind of attitude, which is what this country really needs. Of course, Bernie is doing that, but this is one little thing we can try to do. So there's a lot, and that's just one project of many we could do. So that's that. And just I'll quickly say this space, by the way, this has been on a $0 budget. We have no budget. So yes, a number of people in this room have been really helpful in getting it together. And just quickly to let you know, before we move over to Nate and Josh, is this is going to be a co-working space as well, built around this idea of bringing creative energy and art energy into politics. So we have Josh over there of the Progressive Party. We have Nate Lantieri, who's running for city council right here. And then we're trying to get artists, designers, other creative minds in here in these desks. And then we're going to have a very low barrier to entry option for anyone who kind of believes in this idea to get in here and use these desks, use these chairs, use this space for your own work or for events that you may want to hold. So that's what the co-working space is about. That's what Democracy Creative is kind of all about. It's kind of been a little bit like the expression assembling the airplane on your way off the cliff kind of thing. So that's what it is. So I think I'm going to transition now to Nate, who is running for city council. So.